One day they gon' love me, love me, love me, yeah. Jada.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Jada, and today I'm bringing you a hair tutorial on how to make a closure wig. I'm using a 5x5 20-inch closure and 4 bundles of 22, 24, 26, and 28 inches from the New Glam hair collection off of Instagram. I really enjoy using this hair because it was very affordable. All of these bundles in the closure came under $300 when I bought them, and it's really good quality hair for the price. I'm just showing you what they look like. The bundles came the same wave pattern as the closure, the same color and everything. It has good luster, as you can see as I'm showing you right now, and the bundles are pretty thick considering the inches that I got. But yes, I'm going to use this hair to make a wig. Hopefully I can make it look like a frontal, and we are going to see what I can do. So just keep watching as I show you how to make this wig. Okay, so I'm starting off with bleaching the closure. You always need to bleach your closure so that you can make sure the knots are not shown on your forehead once you put it on. But I'm starting off with some 30 volume developer, some red gold color corrector that's going to make your lace less brassy. And then that's the bleaching powder that I'm using, the BW2 bleaching powder by Clairol. You're going to need something to mix it with, and I'm using a fork and a knife because I left my, the little comb thing that you use at my house back, like where I stay at, because right now I'm in my college dorm. And then these are the rest of the products you're going to need for the closure. Okay, first what I did was I just sprayed a little of the Got To Be on the comb, and then I brushed the hairs back so that I wouldn't bleach the hairs once I started putting the bleach on the lace. This is an optional step. You don't have to do this. I just did it just to make sure that I didn't get any like straight hair bleached because it wouldn't look good. Okay, now we are going to start to mix the bleach. And when you mix this bleach, make sure you pour the powder in first, and then we're going to gradually add in the developer so that we make sure that we don't make the solution too thick or too thin. If it's too thin, it's going to run through the lace and you're going to end up with a blonde scalp, and we don't want that. But if you make it too thick, then it's not going to bleach the knots properly. So make sure we get the right consistency when we get the bleach. That is why we pour in the powder first and then we pour in the developer. But don't worry, you're gonna see how I did it. Just keep watching. Okay, now we are going to break out those color correcting drops. This is going to make the lace less brassy, along with when you wash the bleach out with the Shimmer Light shampoo. But you just add a couple of these drops to the bleaching solution. It's going to turn it purple, but don't be alarmed. That's just the color that it turns it. That's how you know it's working. So when you just add that in, you just mix it in, and then you just apply it to the closure like normal. Okay, guys, after you are done putting the bleach onto the frontal or closure, you're going to let that sit for 15 minutes. Usually I wrap it in aluminum foil, but I didn't have any at the time, so I just did without it. So I just flipped it over on this little sheet and I let it sit for 15 minutes. After you let it sit for 15 minutes, you're going to wash it out with the Shimmer Light shampoo. That's also going to relieve the brassiness of the closure, so that it won't look so red when it's on your forehead. And after that, we are going to apply it to the dome cap and the mannequin head. When you do this, move it like an inch to a half an inch to an inch down past the band on the dome cap. This is going to make sure that your closure is sitting right and it won't look pushed back once you apply it. Then you're just going to sew all the way around the edges of the frontal or the closure. Right now I'm just starting off the thread by looping it around the needle twice and pulling it through. Then I'm going to cut off the end and then I'm going to put it right there on the edge of the closure and sew through it. You just keep sewing like that until you get around all the way to the other side of the closure. I put those pins in there, excuse my ghetto-ness, but I put those pins in there so that I can get the closure tight so they won't have no humps or lumps when I'm sewing it, just to make sure that it lays really, really flat. Once you guys get to the end of the closure on the other side, you want to pull it through like you normally do, but stop and loop the thread around the needle twice like you did when you started it off, just to secure the thread, so then when you cut the thread, it won't unravel and have your frontal lifting off of the dome cap. This is just to secure it, and that's just how I do it. Also, when you guys cut the thread off, make sure you double knot it to secure the thread. That's also going to help secure the thread. You should do that whenever you cut your thread, even if you're about to start a new thread or you're about to end it. Always, when you cut it, you double knot it so that the thread doesn't unravel. Now, y'all, it's time to break out that first bundle. When you start to sew on your bundles, always start with the longest inch. So in this case, I'm starting with the 28-inch bundle, and I'm just going to unravel it and place it on the bottom of the dome cap, following all the way over to where you see that pin. When you place your track, you place it in like a U shape. And then I always use a pen to like hold it in place like I did the closure and make sure that it's laying as close as possible to the mannequin head, because that means it'll lay closer on your head when you actually put the wig on. And also using those clips are going to make sure that you sew as flat as possible. Now, I have longer lengths, so I'm trying to make sure that the wig is very, very full. So I'm going to double weft these first two bundles, which is the 28-inch and the 26-inch. I'm going to double weft those to make sure that my closure, not my closure, y'all, my wig is as full as possible so that I can fit as many bundles as I can. Doing this method, I ended up using 3 bundles and like 2 tracks off of the 22-inch. I couldn't fit anything more in there, but it did turn out pretty full. It's not super thin, so I like that. So if you don't want your wig super thin and you're trying to fit them in, just double weft it and sew like that. Or if you don't know how to like sew when you double weft it, you can always just place the tracks really, really, really close together and sew that way. I just prefer doing the double one for the first bundle. But I did the really, really close together tracks on the second one just because I got tired. But y'all don't be like me. Okay? Okay. Now, when you get to the end of the track, I am going to cut the end of the track. You don't have to if you know how to flip it over. But I didn't feel like doing the flip over method. So I just cut the track. This is going to make sure that the each track lays very flat and close to your head. So you don't have to worry about trying to flip it over and make sure you sew to where it goes flat. This is automatically going to make it flat. So you won't have to worry about all of that and do any additional steps. So that's why I did that. And I just finished off that track. Now, keep putting the tracks on the dome cap in the same way, in that same U shape. In a minute, I'll show you, like with my finger, how to lay the tracks. But just keep putting them on in that same U shape, and you'll be fine. Until you get to the top where you're about to meet the closure, then I'll show you how to arrange the tracks up there. Okay, y'all. Now, when you get to the closure, you're going to sew around the closure as close as possible. Don't sew on top of the closure because it's going to make it look boxy, but sew around it. This is how it should look. Now we have finished the wig, and now I'm just going to cut the part of the dome cap that's sewed underneath the closure off. The next step after you cut off the dome cap is to customize the lace. I did that off camera, but I am going to show you how it looked afterwards. Just a reminder, when you are working with something that you're going to wear a long time, make sure to pluck sparingly. Like pluck enough so that it looks realistic when you first put it on, but also be mindful that the hairs will probably fall out later if you wear this wig often enough. Okay, so I am going to show you how the wig looks after I'm done. That is the lace without being glued or done anything to. I just put some baby hairs in it and threw it on. I'm going to insert a clip of what I look like when I'm all done with my hair. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you want to see another hair video. Bye, y'all.